everybody, welcome to the Fired Up with CJ show. We have Minke de Vos here, and we're talking about her book, Tao Tantric Arts for Women. I love this book. We were just saying, and the reason why I love this book is that there are so many different experiences and exercises and meditations in here that it's just a perfect, because sometimes you just want to mix something up, and so there's so many wonderful exercises in here. So thank you for putting this together. I assume this is a lifetime of work, right?
For sure. It took me decades to write it and
Yeah.
create all those exercises and everything. And it's going to just stir that creative juices in you that you can create your own as well.
Yeah. Tell me about the study about this work and how you got involved with it.
Well, I had a Kundalini awakening in my early 20s
Mm-hmm.
where the microcosmic orbit opened itself
Mm-hmm.
spontaneously. And I went, wow, this is amazing. This energy is incredible. And I would write down all the different patterns, how it moved in my body and swirled to different
Mm.
places in my body. And I had one book with me at that time. It's called The Secrets of Chinese Meditation.
Mm.
It's described a similar experience. And I went, wow, this has actually got ancient roots and
Wow, very cool.
to the tradition. And then my partner at the time had a Kundalini awakening the next year. And
Wow.
then we flew to San Francisco and met Mantak Chia, the Taoist master Mantak Chia, and he confirmed our experience as part of like that whole system of Taoist teachings.
Wow. So
Uh,
what did he say about your experience?
well, he thought it was pretty amazing because, it's not something I read in a book and I manipulate on myself to get it
Right.
going.
Right.
It just happens spontaneously from following my breath and meditation.
Oh, wow. So you were just meditating and it happened spontaneously.
That's right.
Um,
And it's a universal phenomena. The energy is not something like Chinese that I put on myself, right? It's
right.
it's part of our makeup, our energy
Right.
makeup.
Well, how fascinating. I mean, what divine intervention that you had that book with you and that you
Yeah.
decided, because like if you had a different book, you may not have gotten actually the resources that you needed to follow up with this
That's right.
Chinese gentleman. And so what did he tell you about the experience of what was it that resonated with you that thought, okay, now I'm going to spend my whole life focusing on this?
Well, because it weaves the body, mind, spirit together, some of these
Mm-hmm.
energy channels.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It weaves here like our lower center, which is in charge of our will,
Mm-hmm.
heart center, which is more in charge of our feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and mind and the head. And so, because the orbit links up all those three centers, goes up the back and down the front, it creates an integration and a wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
It's often in modern society we're tending to polarize
Mm.
head, that our head's leading everything.
Right.
Here you really connect the head with the heart and with the belly and with the body.
Mm-hmm. So you
You
become
find
embodied, the whole idea of embodied awakening. Because
right.
sometimes a lot of people in the spiritual community, they think like, I'm going to pray and then they'll turn into a ball of light and disappear. Um, that's at least my simplification of it, but but we're embodied. We come here with the body. We're not meant to like disappear into the ethers and, poof like a ball of light. Um,
So it's
so,
not just the ascension path, up and out, but it's actually a down and through path, which is the path of creation,
mm-hmm,
of bringing spirit into matter,
mm-hmm,
manifestation. And that's what I really love about the Taoist
mm,
system, is it really brings heaven down to earth in really
mm-hmm.
practical ways.
Mm-hmm. And so a lot of these practices in this book did it come from your studying with this person? I don't know author of that book
Uh,
or other people. How have you
Mantak
come up with
Chia,
this idea?
there's the forward by Mantak Chia at the bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has about, I don't know, 40 or 50 books out with inner tradition.
Okay, got it. So it was a
Multi-orgasmic
combination.
man, multi-orgasmic woman, multi-orgasmic couple, many, many books. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Tantra is kind of a confusing thing because many people think of Tantra and they're basically using it as a vehicle to just have a lot of sex with random people, right? I mean, but
Mhm.
what do people not understand about how is that different than Taoist Tantric? And
Well,
what do you think are some common misconceptions or misunderstandings about Tantra, period?
mhm. Well, Tantra means a weaving. It's a weaving of yin and yang, weaving of masculine and feminine. You know,
Mm,
fabric of our being, really, and creating that union, that oneness, where body and consciousness, or energy and consciousness, come together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a meditative path.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about sex. It's about to heighten everything in our life with
Right.
heightened awareness. Yeah.
Right. Right. So you're saying the when most people think about tantra, they think about, oh, we're going to have great sex, and that may be a byproduct, but not necessarily the end goal, as I see it.
Not necessarily the end goal. The end goal, I think, is union
Mm-hmm.
within yourself. The
Mm-hmm.
marriage of masculine and feminine within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Taoists have a lot of practices that you do with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Love and moving your sexual energy as energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't you don't have to have sex to feel sexual energy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it's basic vitality in our body. And through self massage and meditation, smiling into our body, we can move that energy a little bit more than usual.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty blocked and stagnant
Yes.
body, and so it needs awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's through movement, breath, sound, we can awaken that energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually had a very similar kind of experience to yours. I was in a meditation retreat, but I was trying to surrender into, I don't even know what I was trying to surrender into, frankly, to a higher power, because I figured, all right, I need, I've been managing and controlling my life, and I'm kind of sick of doing it this way. So there's got to be some other better way. And I had been reading a series of books through this radio show about, hey, there is a better way, surrender to God. And I didn't really know what that was. And I thought, well, might as well give this a try. So I sat down in meditation, and I had and throughout, before that period, it had several different periods of Shakti put, I guess you would call it, where
Yeah.
energy came, and I had some type of unexplainable experience. And so, and I was just talking to, just literally seconds ago, I was just talking to this gentleman. I don't know if you know him, not
Okay.
EG. And he was talking, and we were talking about non-dual tantric practices.
Uh,
So I'm not sure why, but all this is coming
that's
to
a
me.
nice warm up for
I
this.
know it is a perfect warm up, and and so he was talking about creating practices, and it's about sadhana, or practices or cultivation of this energy, and putting yourself
Mhm.
in these practicing places, which this book is all about. Then the practices that come
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
So when you actually had this Kundalini awakening. I guess would you call it a Kundalini awakening? I don't know what you call it.
Well, Kundalini is a powerful current of sexual energy, of creative energy.
Okay.
It's
Is
up
that
through the
was that
body, and
what you would describe what happened to you?
it was like a volcano, really, that
Yeah.
came from my sexual organs up through my body and bubbled out my crown, and then
Uh-huh.
it started to move in all these different patterns.
Uh-huh.
And whenever I sat in meditation, it would move my body so powerfully. I'd be moving, I couldn't actually sit still. It was so strong.
Right, the kriyas. I
Yeah.
just learned moments ago that those are called kriyas when your body.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
was saying that what happens is you have energy coming through, and the energy doesn't necessarily have a clear path yet, so it kind of expresses itself by your body moving around in
First,
different places.
very clear path. For me, it was very clear.
It was it, so it just kind of.
It was like very clear, and then my arms would go up into spontaneous gestures and mudras, and yeah,
That's exactly what I had when I had mine, where I was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but I was doing all this stuff with my hands. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. And it would just be like doing all these movements, and my hands were going back and forth like this. And then I was like writing stuff in the sky. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. But I just kept on saying, well, you don't know, but just surrender, surrender, surrender. And then I was like pulling energy out. I have no idea.
yeah,
I still,
yeah,
to this day, don't really know exactly what was happening aside from
yeah.
energy moving through me. How do you now experience, like now that you've studied this, unlike yourself, I've not studied any of this aside from talking to people like yourself.
Well, you have firsthand experience
Yeah,
of.
so how would you describe now from your own experience, now that you have like the language and the structure to put it under, how would you describe that experience of these movements and the mudras and
Yeah. So I would call that as Wu Wei Qigong. Wu Wei means effortless effort.
hmm,
He's surrendering to the flow of energy, which is incredibly wise. It's going to move you into postures that are going to open up channels. And that's the space where Qigong was created, or yoga was created out
mm,
of. That
Oh.
exploration and allowing the energy to move. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So unlike the person I just talked to, he had described the energy coming through and that the kriyas. So for mine, it was like it was literally the same thing. My arms were flailing, and it's like I'd be sitting there, and this spontaneously my arm would go up, or my neck would like snake out. It was like this a lot of this kind of snaky, this kind of
Yeah.
thing.
This is.
Um, so do you view that as blockages of energy or something different?
Well, it's moving through blockages, but it's also finding new pathways
Hmm.
that is going to support you in your evolution, your highest destiny, right?
Interesting.
So
So.
Kundalini is the primal power of humanity or the primal power of evolution,
Mhm.
right? So it's always serving you if you allow it. It's got
So even though his description was, hey, you're trying to get from Berkeley to he's in Berkeley, Berkeley to I don't know L.A. Do you just take the I-5 to go to direct route, or do you take side paths? And that these
Mhm,
kriyas are more side paths that are your the energy wants to go someplace, so it is maybe navigating around where there are blockages and flowing in
mhm,
a different place. But the way that he described it was more because he had blockages, right? So instead of
mhm.
being able to take a direct path, and ultimately what you want to do is take a direct path. Is that what you think of it as well? Or you view, because I'm just hearing you going like these other paths are just as good.
Not necessarily. Some of those passageways, will eventually come into harmony because
Ah,
nature always wants harmony. So it's always moving towards harmony.
hmm,
And, uh,
hmm,
yeah, I think, it's telling you something too. It's a language,
hmm.
so it's telling you something if you read into it. Maybe not in words, but it's a language of the divine, really. It's a gift when you
Oh,
have those.
interesting. So the kriyas, that's a really different way of thinking about the kriyas. Or do you call them kriyas, or do you call them something else?
Well, it's spontaneous awakening or spontaneous movement. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
so those are it's an I never thought of it as a language of bodily expression, right? Your body is expressing. I don't know why I'm going like this or I'm
It's
making
the energy. It's creative, right? It's going to be
uh
beautiful. It can feel sensual and beautiful and blissful, or it
right.
can feel really uncomfortable. It's going to take you into the biggest blocks and work there and work there and work there and work there until it opens. Yes,
Uh
it can be
it,
both.
it's funny that you're pointing. I don't know if you feel it or not, but this is where I have my block right now. So you're
Yeah.
probably feeling a sympathetic like, "Please help this woman."
Well,
Cuz
if
this
you have your mouse hand or your computer hand, that's
Yeah, yeah, no, this is where my blockage is right now is like all my right side of my neck and my lower back. Those are kind of the remaining,
hmm
long standouts. But interesting.
hmm
I like the idea of it being a language and a language of expressing flow or creativity.
hmm
That feels a lot sometimes in life it's just a perceptual shift, right? Just having a different name for something,
That's
you
right.
can kind of ease into
Yeah.
it and feel calm
Appreciate
about it.
it's all this different facets because
Right.
it's purpose, it's multi-dimensional, multi-purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just to clear blocks.
Right.
It's also to express your soul, your spirit. Yeah.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
I
You
like
go
that a
to
lot better.
dance, static dance, people are moving and shaking and spontaneously, and they get into this free state,
Mm. Hmm.
no mind free state, which is quite beautiful, for us to liberate a lot of energy.
So you've been with a lot of people going through these states.
hmm
Does everyone express themselves in a similar way, or is it very different? Like for me, it's very similar to yours, where it's like this. I don't even know what's happening, right? But is that typical, or is it just everyone? What are the different ways that this energy expresses itself and then
when
manifests itself?
yeah, when the energy moves into different elements, it's going to
Mm.
express itself differently. So if
Oh,
it's going into the fire element, if it wants to move more into this fire element, it's going to be like a fire going up your spine, like this. Or if it goes into the wood element, it's going to be a swing like a tree in the wind.
oh,
If it goes more into the water element, it's going to be kind of a gentle nodding.
oh.
So it's that deep relaxing of a waterfall.
Right.
Or it could be like a bell with the metal element, a little bit like a bell.
Right.
Or
Oh,
the
interesting.
where it circles. It's very comforting to circle like the earth.
Right.
And so I had 20 years in kind of a monastic situation where I'd look down the meditation hall and everyone would be moving a little differently, and so I'd get you know,
Interesting.
how the energy was moving in different people,
And the
different
circle is more what is that?
earth,
Earth.
the earth
Uh,
moving around the center. So your core, your center, so you're kind of, it's very
uh,
comforting.
okay.
You
My
see, like
husband does this one. So it kind of comes from his and shakes up, and that's fire, you said, or that would be
fire, fire shimmering up through the spine.
okay.
Fire rises, heat rises. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, it's a lot of this kind of thing, like arms, kind of like that, which feels more like fire. Is that what? And then sometimes I do this thing where it's like like an earth thing, I guess, where I'm
Yeah.
rotating around.
Yeah.
I never do this. This is the water. I guess I don't know
Water.
why, but there is no water in my life. I don't do this one. And then the other one you said water is what's the wind? Or is there a wind in this
The
model?
wind or the wood element
Oh,
is
it's
like
just kind of
swaying,
like a swaying
swaying
back and forth.
swaying
Okay.
yeah.
So it's what kind of, so that energy, that creative energy, it expresses itself physically in a different way. What do you think it means when you have wood, or or you have water, or you have fire? What does it mean? Like, what does it mean if you have these energies?
It's trying to bring your energy to balance. So if there's
Ah,
not a balance in a certain element, then it's going to move and open up that element. Yeah, and that
oh,
affects another element. And sometimes you might have two at the same time. I used to have flaming ice cube. I used to be still like ice, and then feel like all these flaming heat or steam going around my body. So
wow.
you might have polarities of two things happening at the same time.
Wow, that's very cool. That helps explain it so much because I don't really understand. And then sometimes it's like this, like I can't even breathe. Is that fire or what's that? Or is that just asthma?
Yes, I mean it's the metal element, which is the breath, the lungs, which is like
Oh,
a bellows. It's going to get your fire going. Actually,
ah,
move your energy. That bellows, you get the fire going with the breathing.
okay. So that's actually adding more metal into your. You need more metal to balance your energy.
That's right.
Ah,
And it's
interesting.
the lungs. It's the lungs or the metal element that moves our energy. It's like the flywheel. The breath is the flywheel for
Right.
everything. Right.
Wow. Okay, that's so interesting. You just moved what felt weird to me into a beautiful expression of the divine and all the, I mean, adding the element part of it, and
Hmm.
then also seeing it as a dance and a flow and the energy going where it needs to go versus what it should be doing is going up, right? Versus saying, no, it's going where it needs to go. It will go back to just like rivers flow into its main source, it will go back to the main source. So don't worry if a tributary takes you in all these different directions. It's just life flowing through.
Cooperate with it. Trust it.
Right.
And
Right.
smile to Shakti. Welcome her. Welcome her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep
Okay.
welcoming her.
All right, that was just so cool. I'm so glad I asked you that question because I think that people don't, I don't know, most when I remember when this first started happening to me, I'd look at videos, I'm like, "Oh my God. Is that what I look like?" And then I thought, don't the more you know, actually in some ways the more I read, the more scared I got and the more I wanted to shut it all down,
Uh-huh.
which is what I did initially. And then the second time I thought, well, that probably wasn't a good idea. This time, don't spend a lot of energy trying to interpret it. Just let it flow and let it. And so for now, like I literally have, I'll go like that in the middle of the day when I'm sleeping.
Hmm.
I get shocks. So is that just energy again? Energy trying to express? Is it trying to be like the divine going like this to you?
Into something. It's maybe self-correcting kind of. It's
Right.
always always wants harmony. So it's, it's maybe there's some built up tension throughout the day, and whoa, and it wants to move through.
Ah, I see. So it's, I
And
like
you're
that too.
relaxing, so you're allowing then that energy to move through.
Right. So I'm sleeping when I'm the most relaxed. I sometimes like literally I'm like going like this, shaking, and then like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll wake up like, what's happening? Like I'm asleep and my whole body is shaking, or I'll talk. It's weird. Sometimes when people say things that are true, I can't. It's not like I'm trying. My head will just snap like that, and I'm like, I don't know what that was. It was almost like a high five, like the spiritual high five. Looks like this to me.
Right on, right on.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know if you've even had anything like that happen during the day where I'm not necessarily, I'm not doing a sadhana. I'm not doing a practice to cultivate it. It's just
Well,
happening
maybe life is your
spontaneously.
practice.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Now onto other things, less weird than my own whatever experience I'm having. So I want to talk to you about you've actually been in this practice over a course of your womanhood. And so, and I think it's really interesting. And I'm now, I don't know, I'm in the crone stages. But I wanted to ask you, since you've gone through these different stages, talking about, you call it your herstory, or history. Tell us a little bit about what you've learned and why women are so, this is the Taoist tantric art for women, right? Why the focus on women, and what do you think is our unique expression of this energy as women?
Well, I feel it's the time, right? It's the emergence of the divine feminine. It's definitely in the air, the psychic or the spiritual airwaves, So I feel that women need the empowerment now and
Mm-hmm.
tools,
Mm-hmm.
move their energy to make a difference in the world, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Around their lives. Yeah, so it's tools of empowerment.
Yeah.
That
And
really
so when you're moving, I don't know if you've had children or not. I think you said that you
I haven't
decided
had
not to have
children.
children. But
I
so
had
when women move from that stage of having children to this now crone stage, what's some advice or things that from a Taoist perspective that would be important to know during a stage?
Well, when a woman is menstruating, then the blood is flowing downwards from the cord channel. It's flowing downwards
Mm-hmm.
to nourish a potential child.
Mm-hmm.
And then after menopause, which in Orient they call the second spring.
Oh,
So
that's the best name ever.
yes, another way of new energy, because then that energy that was lost every month
Mm.
now moves in and up through the cord channel up to the heart to nourish your inner child.
Say that again. So the energy that was used to, like, the blood was coming down and then you're menstruating it out.
It creates, the nourishment for the uterus for a potential child and then lost through the menstrual cycle. It's not lost, it's like an investment. It's a
Right,
beautiful cycle, the menstrual
right,
cycle.
right.
But all these practices transform blood into chi. So the
Oh.
menstrual cycle gets actually less and lighter.
Ah.
But after menopause, that blood goes up towards the heart for your spiritual path, is to nourish your spiritual path.
Oh, wait, so the blood goes back up to, instead of actual, do you mean
It's
not instead, but
kind of
you're saying
expression. It's expression. It's not being
literally, you're just saying,
shed. Being shed every month.
right.
It's being harnessed and moved back into the heart or back into your spiritual path.
Hmm.
It's your spiritual path. So often women become really psychic.
Hmm.
Their real creative powers emerge after menopause because of that.
Because they have
Because
more
it's
energy to
going to create a
devote.
child. It's not going to create an offspring. It's going to create your inner spirit, nourish your inner spirit.
Oh, wow. And then psychic abilities come up as a result of that.
Yes, often it goes up and really opens up the third eye, and the intuition gets really strong.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
What other kinds of things can, as we move into this age, it's so difficult, right? In some ways, it's so difficult, but it sounds like also beautiful for it to be your second spring.
because you can now live your dream,
Ah.
right? Because if your children have grown up or you've done your business, you can really, what is it I really want to create now in this next stage of my life?
Mm.
Channeling your energy into that.
Yeah, it's interesting that so I'm actually right at that stage right now because my son is going off to college. I still have one younger one who's 2 years younger. But it's interesting because what I'm realizing is that the societal path is that, that was long, that was like 10 years ago. This idea of starting a new beginning and creating a new feels like, no, I guess am I supposed to be golfing even though I don't golf? There's a sense of you're sailing into the sunset, not beginning a brand new spring. It's
Uh,
very, I don't know, it's almost a societal construct. Is that
yes.
this is the time to like fold up and close down and wither, to a dried up flower and blown
Oh,
off to the dust. So that's very different. No, I mean, I don't know. Maybe in Canada it's different, but the societal construct is more like, you know, just pack up shop and, start, going into to your,
people often get very bored when they retire. Like,
yeah,
where energy going to go? Because they're used to working, so much with their career and their
right.
family and everything like that. So,
So do you think that so the Taoists thought of it as a second spring because now you can use this energy to do what with? Like what would they say is the thing that people, like I was talking to a lama, a Tibetan Buddhist lama, and he's like, at
mhm,
this age, he's in his, because there's different kinds of practices. I don't know about the Taoists, but I know that Taoists talk about different stages in life, like the 50s and
mhm,
60s and 70s and 80s. Each has kind of a stage and kind of a trajectory for that
mhm,
life. So,
mhm.
what's the trajectory during the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s according to the Taoist practice?
Well, if you see it as, an overview that, the teenagers are more like wolves. They're
Right.
a pack and they're
Yes.
hunting. They're hunting for their mate. And then they become panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And then because that's that mysterious one in the jungle, you become like a queen of your kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
the panther stage. And then you become a dragon after menopause.
A
Then
dragon.
dragon because mysterious and magical energy that has that potential of wisdom and to make
Oh.
a difference, to really share your wisdom.
Oh, I like the idea of a dragon. That's cool. Okay, what happens after the dragon stage?
No, they just had those three sections.
Okay, I guess the other
Growing
ones
up
are just too
in
sad to think
puberty
about.
and adulthood and then after menopause. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. Okay, got it. So I'd like that idea of a dragon.
Or you could say cougar instead of panther, the expression.
I don't like the cougar, I whole idea, but I like the idea of a dragon because it feels super powerful and magical. It can fly. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, so in your book, you talk about you talk about oh, you talk about different things. I want to go into this too quickly. So you talk about things that promote hormonal balance, um, and you talk about the microcosmic orbit. Tell us a little bit about the microcosmic. Could you step us through what it is and how it works and what's happening with the microcosmic orbit?
Okay, so we have two major channels in the body. The one is in the front channel that
Mm-hmm.
goes in the front, and that is your conception vessel, a
Mm-hmm.
vessel for yin or feminine energy or water, you could say,
Is in the front.
and the front.
Mm-hmm.
And then back channel is the governor vessel governs yang energy in the body. It could also be a
Oh.
fire channel.
Oh.
You move energy up the fire channel, down the water channel. You're
Mm.
balancing fire, water, fire, water. It's alchemy,
Mm.
putting it into a warm current.
Mm.
Those two channels, they link up by putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth. That
Okay.
links those two channels.
Oh.
Now it goes up and connects through the tongue, and the other one comes down and connects through the
That.
palate.
Oh, so they were saying that this circle that goes around goes in here and then it connects.
Connects through the tongue on the palate. Yes,
Okay,
that's
and
the breaker.
okay. So when you're doing the microcosmic orbit, when there's water coming down and then
Fire
fire
coming.
coming up, this
Fire
is
naturally rises. Water naturally falls.
okay, got it. So this is basically, and what's the idea of is this yin yang? What is it doing?
It's a balancing of the yin and yang.
Okay, got it.
and it refines the sexual energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have pumps along the spine that move the sexual waters up through the spine. They pump it literally up the spine. Your sacrum, your adrenal pump, your cranial pump, it's all
Mm-hmm.
pumping, pumping, pumping. And those are not just pumps, but they refine the sexual energy.
Mm.
Say the sexual energy is that your raw building block,
Mm-hmm.
diesel, let's say, raw
Right.
oil.
Right.
And then as it moves up, it becomes like diesel, kerosene, jet fuel when it gets up to the brain.
Oh, okay. So you're
And
taking
then you circulate that refined essence around and you distribute it to all the chakras and all the glands. So
that
the glands are not over excess and some are deficient. It distributes like a train going around a track. It distributes to all the cities.
oh,
Okay. Yeah. So in that
interesting.
way it balances the hormones.
Okay, got it. So you have the sexual energy, which is it the same as earth energy or what is that
Well, I
sexual
mean, there's
energy?
just the creative energy of the earth.
Okay.
It's good to draw that into you, especially as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
The earth energy builds our blood in our body. I
Okay.
mean, lots of blood for the menstrual cycle, for childbearing, and so on. Yeah, so the earth energy we draw up, and then that nourishes the sexual energy, and
Mm-hmm.
then that into the orbit. Sometimes called the multi-orgasmic channel because it multiplies energy. You know,
Oh.
if this is your positive pole
Mm-hmm.
and your perineum is your negative pole
Mm-hmm.
in terms of electricity,
Right.
wire between positive and negative, and it starts to spin positive, negative, positive.
Uh,
Generator works. So you're generating energy and you're generating light.
oh.
Love that way.
Wait, I'm sorry. Tell me about the love part. I know I heard the energy and you faded out.
If two people are running their orbit and they're linking up the orbit like an eight, figure eight,
Mm-hmm.
so the man, the woman, or it could be a more masculine, feminine charge, even same partners, you can weave the energy, balancing yin and yang between them,
Mm-hmm.
and that generates more love between them.
Ah, interesting. So when you're making love, you imagine the channel. So instead of me going, fire up, water down, I'm actually thinking about fire up, and then what am I doing when I'm thinking about my husband?
Uh, you can actually just run your orbit
If we
and then
both,
just link it up through your tongue,
ah,
or link it to the genitals or your heart center. Any of your chakras, actually, third eye can link up those two. So they've got
so any touching point. I'm running my own generator here, the CJ generator. My husband's running his generator, and when we touch, it's like, ching.
it goes, yeah, and it just accelerates.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
it tends to accelerate and creates more multi-orgasmic experiences in your body and your lovemaking.
Right. And I had something like that with my husband but it was actually once that happened when we were making love, it was like just I just saw light. It was just like just light for like I'm not even joking, but like for 3 hours I was just and it
Uh,
wasn't like an orgasm, but it was like a spiritual orgasm. It was just like energy kind of rushing through me. Like I just felt like my whole body was just like an electrical current, and I just saw white, and I saw light, and I saw energy body, and it was all this. I don't even know what to expect.
yeah,
But was that what? So it sounds like that when it's what happens when what both partners could experience when that energy is multiplying.
that's right. Yeah.
Ah. I'm
Yes.
making sense of all these unnatural experiences I just haven't dug into because I feel like the more I know about it, the more.
We are superhuman. I mean,
Yeah, it's
what is normal is can be pretty blah, but we're all have these super extraordinary experiences available to us.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so can you step us through or is that it? Like, so when I'm meditating, can you step us through a meditation or what
Well,
we would do?
well, yeah, first we want to do the inner smile because the inner smile is going to purify the energy into
Okay.
high frequency energy.
Okay, because why take
Negativity,
low energy and multiply that?
but this inner smile creates a radiance
Oh.
that wants to move freely. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's why you practice the inner smile first, and then that golden light or that pure energy, you move that around in your microcosmic orbit.
Okay. So tell us about the inner smile then.
Okay. I'll just put a little couple of chimes to set the mood.
Oh, pretty.
And so if you'd like to close your eyes for a moment
Okay.
and and breathing into your belly, long deep breaths. Imagine an ocean in your breath, rising and falling, caressing the inside of your body, feeling the presence of the earth below you, breathing with Mother Earth, breathing in all the nourishment and the support you need from Mother Earth. And like a tree with deep roots, drinking up through your feet, your legs, and allow the earth energy to rise up through your spine like a juicy sap rising up a tree, up the neck and up to your crown. Then bring your palms so they face up and open your crown like a flower opening to the light of the heavens and the vast starry worlds, the creative cosmic energy of the universe. And breathing in the light into your crown, let it beam down through the center of your brain, down through the center of your heart, down through the center of your belly, merging, mixing heaven and earth in your belly as you breathe. And then become aware of your third eye. And envision in front of you a golden sun, an image of unconditional love. And the golden light is beaming from the benevolence of the universe. Unconditional love beaming into your third eye and into the center of your brain. Letting it sparkle in all those little master glands, the glands of bliss in the center of your brain. And then beam the light into your face, softening and relaxing your face, and lifting your lips into a peaceful smile. Smiling down through your throat and into your heart. And you can put your hands over your heart. Smiling deeply into your heart. Allowing your heart to relax. Let's take a big breath to our heart and a big sigh. And another one. And sensing the warm, pulsating nature of the heart, pulsating the message of love, sending that message everywhere to every cell, telling every cell, I love you, I love you, I love you. All the cells becoming lighter and brighter. And we can brush down our hands down to your sexual organs, sexual palace. And beaming in a warm sun of your heart down into your sexual organs. Warming, relaxing. And take a deep breath into your sexual center and a big sigh. Ah, and another breath. And smiling into your sexual organs for the women, smiling into your womb, your yoni, feeling the vibrant creative energy there, coming alive. Smiling with gratitude to that source of creative energy, vitality and beauty. Feel a vibrant pulsation of life there. Enjoying life, a passion for life. And you can allow that passion, like a steam, to rise up to your heart. Let's put one hand on the sexual organs and the other hand on the heart. And the beautiful, gentle steam rising up and nourishing your heart's flower. Nourishing the love in your heart. And just breathe back and forth for a moment and just sensing that source of passionate energy and that source of compassion coming together, breathing together. And slowly bring your hands together at your navel. And we're going to fuse those two energies, the love and the sexual energy, into a golden pearl. And gold never tarnishes, it's always pure, vital energy. And we'll take that golden pearl all the way down to your perineum. And then inhale up your spine, bring that golden pearl up through your spine, all the way up to your crown. And then down, down past the forehead, through the tongue, past your heart, down past your navel, sexual palace, perineum. And you can help it out by squeezing your anus to thrust the energy up through the spine. Inhale all the way up to the crown, and then exhale down, tongue on the roof of your mouth, down past the heart, navel, perineum. Continue a few breaths, inhaling up the back, exhaling down the front. A continuous river of liquid light, spreading this delicious, juicy, creative energy, love energy around and round your body. Mm-hmm. And it can speed up and it can move even faster if it wants. You can spin around many times as you inhale and many times around as you exhale. Just allow any shaking to happen, that's totally fine. Smile, welcome. Welcome the energy to move. Welcome. And we'll gradually balance that rising energy and this sinking and falling energy up and down, around and round. Like a continuous river that all the debris of the river gradually smooths out. The earth energy starts to rise into the channel and the heavenly energy comes down through the channels. Marriage of heaven and earth within you. And bring your mind down to your navel. And we'll rub our belly in a spiral up the left side of the navel, down the right side of the navel. We're stirring and mixing the heaven and the earth with your original chi. Rubbing the belly 9 times. Very good. Yes. And when you finish 9, we're going to reverse, going clockwise, up the right, down the left 9 times. Fusing all the energy, condensing it smaller and smaller in behind the navel into a golden pearl. And rest your mind there for a moment in that golden precious pearl and come to peace with your own sexual essence. Smile to your creative essence. Rub your, rub your hands. And drink the energy into your eyes. And wash your face. Ah. And brush down from your heart to your belly. Ah. Yeah. Good. Mm.
Wow, that's nice. So that was the combination of the inner smile and then the microcosmic orbit was a golden pearl running around and around and around. Wow,
Mhm.
everything just seems lighter and brighter.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's very nice. So then what that's doing is it's balancing this yin and the yang and the energy and just allowing everything to kind of flow and you're amping up the energy as you're as I can see if I wasn't letting myself go crazy, but if I was allowing myself to go out because I was on
You're
air, but if I
all
were I went all over the place. I was trying and some stuff is uncontrollable. But if I
over.
were, I can see if I were multiplying that there would be a ton of energy that was happening.
That's
And
right.
is there any, when that energy is happening and it's multiplying, is there any risk in doing that? Or is it just all benefits? And what are the benefits of getting that energy amped up and vibrating at that higher level?
It's very safe. It's very, very safe because you have ascending and descending energy.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Ah,
go into a out of body kind of spacey.
right.
It can also incarnate you.
Ah, yeah, because I don't feel kind of
It's
like,
a very safe
yeah,
way.
I don't feel cosmic ethereal, which sometimes when I do these meditations, I'm like I can't even focus on the interview itself. I feel really grounded after that whole experience. So it's because it's going down.
Centering.
Okay, so there's no way in which you're going to orbit out of spin out of to a different planet.
Not too well. I mean, it'll connect you with the planet,
No,
but
no.
you'll stay in your center, and it's going to rejuvenate you
Yeah. Okay.
because the aging process is polarizing. The heat rises and creating heart problems and mental agitation, insomnia, and so on. And then the coldness sinks and creates joint problems, poor digestion, more sedentary experience. So it's that polarization which is aging. And then when you're mixing hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, it's like an anti-aging
I love it.
technology.
Yes, it is the perfect technology. All right, I love that. We've been talking to Minke de Vos about her book, Tao Tantric Arts for Women, and that was the Microcosmic Orbit. And there's tons of other things in here. Do you have? So I'm gonna for folks that are interested in finding about also in this book is this fascinating thing called the jade egg, which is something particular to women. I don't know. Can guys use the egg? I don't know. but but I know that women can. So
Also, do a tiny one in the anus,
okay,
massage the prostate and so on.
right,
But I don't know that many men that actually use it.
right,
But
yeah. So if you go to our YouTube channel on Fire It Up with CJ, you'll see that part. But for folks who are just listening on the radio, tell us how folks can get to your website and join you in some of your workshops up in BC.
so in BC, it's silentground.com. We have a 1 month Qigong teacher training in the summer. And we have a Canal, which is inner alchemy meditation retreat over New Year's every year on
Oh,
Quadra.
fun.
And we have a 5 week teacher training in Thailand or Bali every year.
Oh, okay, that sounds
I
fantastic.
co-teach that with Shashi Soluna, and we've done for 6 years. You know, groups of women are really empowered after 5 weeks. That
Wow.
going into their communities and teaching this work, and yeah, it's going out in the world big time.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, and tell us your website.
Tantricarts.com, DaoTantricarts.com, and then to buy jade eggs,
Mm-hmm.
FeminineTreasures.com,
Okay.
and to learn about retreats at silentground.com.
Okay, excellent. So I'll put all your websites up on the screen so people
Thank
can see those.
you.
And folks who want to listen to, later on to hear about the jade egg, go onto YouTube and we'll have a longer video where we're going to talk about the jade egg. Thank you so much. All right.
So they are divine, wonderful secrets that were given to us, these practices, from the three female advisors of the Yellow Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
They are the classics of Oriental medicine,
Mm-hmm.
about 5,000 years ago. Yeah. And often people think of the Yellow Emperor, but they don't know about the three female advisors.
Wow. Okay, so what was the role of these three female
Uh,
advisors?
Su Nu brought out all the different rejuvenation practices and working with
Mm,
the sexual energy
mhm.
because emperors died young because they were pleasing all these concubines.
Right. Poor
Lot
guys.
what a way to go, but they
Yeah.
they died early. So she devised ways that the emperor could have an orgasmic experience without losing his seed.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
And so when you use the jade egg, your yoni becomes as articulate as your mouse.
You mean my computer mouse or your mouth?
Your mouth, your
Oh
mouth.
wow. Oh wow. Okay.
When you make the sound, notice what happens with your yoni,
Right.
or your
Mm.
vagina muscles. You feel how your goes
Yeah, the
down,
contract.
up,
Yeah.
below. So that's the
Mm.
action of the sphincter muscles that like
Ah.
together. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so you can get us as so you're really cultivating that muscle so that it's super. It's like a workout for your vaginal
Your
yeah.
internal bodies or something like that.
Ah. Okay.
Strengthen your yoni, but not just strengthen, relax it as well. Be-
Oh.
Because the squeezing, the release is as important as the squeezing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? You want to become a tight ass, right? You don't
Right.
want to be a tight yoni either.
Right.
That elasticity of being able to squeeze, release, creates a lot of life force, lots of movement
Hmm.
and sensitivity.
Hmm. Okay, now
Mm.
so I imagine that that is the base, your root chakra, where the earth energy is, your sexual energy is coming up. So being able to open and close that is
Mhm.
actually an important element, I assume, to be able to open and close. Is that why
It's
you're
almost like you're drinking the earth energy.
ah,
Like you're drinking the nectars of nature.
very cool. Interesting.
And
Okay.
the Tao is called the yoni or the I like to use the word yoni because
Right.
it's a symbol for life.
Right.
Um, they call the Taoist that center the jade fountain,
Mm.
fountain of youth, a
Mm.
fountain of course. When you squeeze it, it sends a jet of energy up to your heart or up to your brain. Yeah.
Ah, I see. So this is kind of like this is like the beginning if you're trying to have ascending energy going this way, and if there's a you're talking about a pump, this is one of the ways that you pump up energy to go up. Ah, I see. So when you use the egg that you put in your yoni, it actually is so I'm not even sure how is it like a this sounds so gross, but is it like a tampon? Like how does you just
Yes, yes. You put it in like a tampon,
yeah.
and then you pull the string. Got a
Okay.
silk cord here. So when
Okay.
you pull the string, the yoni naturally squeezes and sucks up.
Oh.
It has a
Oh. So it's a natural reaction, just like a flower when you touch it, it kind of or
that's right.
sea anemone.
It has a natural
Ah.
action.
Your
So that
yoni is like
whatever
a
you're
sea anemone. When you touch it and it kind of contracts in. I see. So then so you're kind of getting the natural
like
reflexes.
jellyfish moves,
Yes.
yeah, but
Ah.
it's an equal force that you're pulling into the string is rising up into your body. Equal force,
Ah. Okay, but
opposing
the
force.
this sounds awful, but can is it like a tampon that it could just float up there and get lost? Like, is it? I know that is there a limit? Where does it go up your shishuna and into your brain? Like,
No, no, it doesn't. There's reflexology zones within your vagina canal
mm-hmm.
that are related to your organs. So the
Oh,
base is related to your kidneys, and the middle liver is spleen, and up by the cervix is your lungs and heart. So when you move the jadic up and down, you're actually massaging all those organs inside of you.
I just find that
It's like
fascinating. I'm trying to find the picture where you had that in because the whole idea is that your body is like a hologram, right? So your jade fountain, that whole area is actually you're actually it's a health you're actually clearing out the energies or what are you doing? You're actually
you're activating, you're nourishing,
ah
you're nourishing those organs through
I
that
love
massage.
it. Okay. So is this something what does one do with this jade egg? Is it something that you walk around all day with it or an hour or what what does one do?
You could, but it's I think good for practice. Like if you're going dancing, you can just gently squeeze it in between
Hmm.
and feel that source of creative energy coming up through you when you squeeze. and have half your awareness kind of into the source
Ah,
while you're dancing or
wow.
practicing yoga, you know. But we have a lot of practices that we do on the floor.
Right.
Yoga practices on the floor, positions, like where you raise your hips up and your sexual center is higher than your head. And so there's a natural flow of that energy up to the brain.
Ah, okay. So this isn't necessarily like downward dog or like warrior one action. This is more on the on yoga poses on the ground where you're
On
kind.
the ground, and then moving the spine on the ground in an undulating wave.
Wow.
That's that flow moving through the body.
Right. And then is this, do people have orgasms just by putting this yoni? Like I can imagine, like this egg is in there and you're pulling the energy. Is that sometimes the
You
result of these?
can have full body orgasms with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I know that's not the intent. I'm just asking, like, so don't be surprised if that happens. Like,
don't be surprised, but it's not, the goal is not orgasm.
right. Yeah, that's not the intention, but it
The goal
could
is to
happen.
awaken and warm up the energy
Okay. So
because
there,
often it's very sleepy and dormant sitting up,
mm,
right? So we need to gently awaken. You're safe now. We can move that energy now. Yeah. So that's when we put the jade egg in to help move that energy.
so there's health benefits in that it's, you're, are you, so you're moving the egg within your yoni so that it
Mhm.
actually hits all the various organs. And then there's this kind of tugging and pulling. And is there any risk of it having a problem getting it out?
No, because you have the silk string. You can
Okay,
always
no, that never breaks.
pull the egg out with the string.
Okay.
It's important to have a string.
Okay.
Um, but even if the egg goes up there and you don't have a string, you can laugh, squat and laugh,
Oh, it'll come out.
and it'll come out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds so stupid, but when I was writing, I'm like, I'm scared. Like, what if what if it gets stuck up there? I know these are kind of like hard questions to ask, but I'm sure other people are wondering the same thing, right? Like, what happens? And so, after doing this, the intention is really about helping start having the sexual energy move up.
Up and through and into your organs, wherever it's needed in the body.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it
And to
has
connect your sexual energy with your heart.
ah
Your
ah
grow the love and compassion and the joy and the happiness. Yeah.
ah excellent. Oh,
So it's a channeling of the energy.
yeah. I love this. Thank you so much for staying later. That was super interesting. And so people can go into your website to actually buy a jade egg because there's all
Sure.
different types of jade eggs.
But
There are
these
different
are
materials.
certified nephrite jade, which is like from the West Coast, from British Columbia.
Okay.
It's really high quality from the jungles, the rainforests in this area.
Oh, that's very cool.
So nice to know
Wow.
it's coming from British Columbia, this jade. And it's very high quality.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you mean, and when you talk about this in your book, because it's a crystal, so it's actually radiating energy. So you want to think about the energy that you're putting deep into your
It's
body and making
the
sure that
sacred,
it's, yeah, yeah,
the
because
sacred part of Mother Earth.
yeah, and the other things that there's just some practical tips in here about, and people should get the book if they're interested because there's exercises to do with the jade egg, as well as what to look for if you can't, for whatever reason, if you want to buy your own or you want to actually
Mhm.
find your jade egg and kind of feel the energy around it, find it's the right one. But there are things like
The right
chemicals
size
and things.
for you.
Yeah,
You need to be able to grip it and really use your muscles.
right,
So it's not too big,
right,
because then you're not going to have that action. And
right,
so,
right.
yeah. But if a woman had a child and maybe her yoni is expanded, she might start with a bigger one and gradually work towards a more medium-sized one.
Right, so they can build the muscles in.
That's it.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. You're so lovely.
Yeah.
Really lovely. Thank you so much for your time and also to
Thank
stay
you.
later. We've been
It was
talking to
delightful to connect with you.
yes, and I hope to come up to Vancouver to actually do some of your classes.
Please,
So we
all.
have Minke de Vos talking about the book, the Tao Tantric Arts for Women. Thank you so much.
And please enjoy their practice.
I
And
will.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show. I would love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.